Ich will essen alles. Oh mein Gott, Tomaten.
I've been lied to my entire life about America.
Listen, it's a pleasure being here because if I never ever come to the USA, I would have never seen what actually goes on in America. But it's good being a Brit, coming here, and I've seen so much. And you know what? I actually really love it here.
Mesdames et messieurs.
The donuts or the coffee?
The donuts.
Have you ever imagined what would happen if thousands of Europe's most passionate football fans visited America for the very first time during the biggest sporting event on earth? For years, they had heard the same opinions. America doesn't understand football. The atmosphere will never match Europe. It won't feel like a real World Cup. Those comments spread across social media, television, and football forums, creating expectations before a single ticket had even been scanned. But when the first flights from Europe landed in America, something completely unexpected began to happen. The reality they experienced was nothing like the stories they had been told. From the moment they stepped out of the airport, everything felt larger than life. Massive highways, towering skyscrapers, modern airports, friendly volunteers, and thousands of football fans wearing jerseys from every corner of the world. It didn't feel like arriving in a foreign country. It felt like arriving at the center of world football. Every city was buzzing with excitement. Every cafe had football on the screens. Every street seemed filled with supporters carrying flags, singing chants, and counting down the hours until kickoff. Many European visitors looked around in disbelief, quietly saying, "This isn't what we expected at all." The closer the opening match came, the more the excitement continued to grow. Streets that were usually busy with everyday life had transformed into colorful football festivals. Supporters from England, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, the Netherlands, and dozens of other countries walked side by side through American cities, singing their national chants, waving flags, and sharing laughs with complete strangers. Every few steps, another group stopped to take photos, exchange scarves, or predict which nation would lift the trophy. Football had become the one language that everyone understood, no matter where they came from. And for many Europeans, that was the first big surprise. They expected to see tourists. Instead, they found a global football family. As they explored the cities, another stereotype quickly disappeared. Many had imagined Americans would know very little about football. But what they actually experienced was completely different. Taxi drivers asked visitors which team they supported. Restaurant owners proudly decorated their businesses with World Cup flags. Hotel staff recommended the best fan zones and matchday activities. Volunteers patiently guided international supporters through transportation systems, and local families welcomed visitors with genuine excitement. These simple moments left a lasting impression, because they weren't planned for television cameras. They were real interactions, happening naturally, throughout every host city. Slowly, European supporters realized America wasn't just organizing a tournament. It was embracing football culture in its own unique way. Then came the moment every fan had been waiting for. Walking toward the stadium for the very first time. The atmosphere became louder with every step. Music echoed through the streets. Food vendors served thousands of supporters. Giant screens displayed match previews, and football chants rolled through the crowd like waves. When the stadium finally came into view, many visitors instinctively reached for their phones. They wanted to capture the moment forever. The massive arena, the sea of colorful jerseys, and the unbelievable energy created a scene that exceeded every expectation. Some fans simply stood still, looking around with a smile, realizing they were witnessing history. In that moment, every doubt they had before arriving in America slowly disappeared. Because the experience was already becoming unforgettable, and the match hadn't even started yet. The moment the stadium gates opened, thousands of supporters slowly made their way inside, and within seconds, cameras were everywhere. European fans looked around in complete amazement. The stadium was even more impressive than they had imagined. Every seat was filling with color, giant video screens lit up the arena, music echoed through every corner, and the perfectly prepared pitch looked ready for one of the biggest sporting events in history. Many supporters simply paused, taking in the atmosphere before finding their seats. Some quietly smiled, while others admitted, "Pictures don't do this place justice." It was one of those moments that no television broadcast could truly capture, because you had to be there to feel it. As kickoff drew closer, the energy inside the stadium became electric. National flags waved proudly across the stands, supporters sang their country's anthems at the top of their lungs, and every announcement from the stadium speakers was met with thunderous applause. Then, the players finally walked out of the tunnel. The roar from the crowd was deafening. Tens of thousands of fans stood together, scarves raised high, phones recording every second, and for a brief moment, the entire stadium felt united by one shared emotion: anticipation. It didn't matter what language people spoke, or which nation they represented. Everyone knew they were about to witness something special. When the referee blew the opening whistle, every online debate instantly disappeared. The match was fast, intense, and full of unforgettable moments. Every tackle drew loud reactions, every dangerous attack pushed supporters to the edge of their seats, and every save by the goalkeeper echoed around the stadium with applause. Then came the first goal, and the entire arena exploded. Fans jumped from their seats, strangers hugged one another, flags waved through the air, and the noise became almost impossible to describe. European supporters who had questioned whether America could create a true football atmosphere suddenly found themselves celebrating inside one of the loudest and most unforgettable stadiums they had ever experienced. Later, many admitted, "We came with doubts, but after this match, those doubts completely disappeared." As the days passed, the World Cup became much more than just a football tournament. Every new match brought another chance to explore a different American city, and every city offered a completely different experience. Some European supporters spent their mornings walking through famous landmarks, while others explored local neighborhoods, visited museums, relaxed by the waterfront, or enjoyed the incredible variety of food they had only seen online before. Everywhere they went, they found football. Giant public screens showed live matches, cafes were filled with supporters discussing yesterday's results, and streets echoed with songs from fans representing countries from every corner of the world. It felt as though the entire nation had paused to celebrate one global event, and that surprised many visitors more than anything else. One of the biggest talking points among European fans quickly became the hospitality. Time after time, they shared stories about complete strangers who had gone out of their way to help them. A volunteer patiently guided a lost family to the correct train. A restaurant owner recommended the fastest route to the stadium. A local football fan offered to take photos for a group of tourists, and taxi drivers happily spent entire journeys talking about football. These weren't headline moments, but they became the memories people talked about most. Because they were genuine. They weren't organized for television. They happened naturally, and they completely changed how many visitors viewed America. The more people they met, the more they realized the country was far different from the image many had built through social media and news headlines. Soon, reaction videos from European fans began spreading across the internet. Thousands, then millions, of people watched as supporters shared their honest opinions after experiencing America for themselves. Many admitted they had arrived expecting disappointment, but were now calling it one of the greatest football trips of their lives. Comments flooded every platform. "We judged too quickly. The atmosphere is unbelievable. America proved everyone wrong." Even fans who had stayed home in Europe started saying, "Now I wish I had gone too." The conversation had completely changed. It was no longer about whether America could host the World Cup. It was about how this tournament had exceeded expectations, created unforgettable memories, and introduced millions of football supporters to a side of America they had never seen before. And with the knockout rounds approaching, the excitement was only getting bigger, because everyone knew the best moments of the tournament were still to come. As the tournament entered the knockout stage, the atmosphere changed completely. Every match now carried enormous pressure. One mistake could end a nation's dream. One unforgettable moment could become part of football history forever. European supporters could feel the tension long before kickoff. Fan zones became quieter, conversations became more serious, and every prediction suddenly felt important. Yet despite the pressure, the excitement across America reached its highest point. Streets were overflowing with supporters, restaurants stayed open late, city squares turned into giant viewing parties, and every host city seemed to live and breathe football. No matter where you looked, people were discussing lineups, debating tactics, and counting down the minutes until the next match. It was clear that the World Cup had captured the attention of millions, not just inside the stadiums, but across the entire country. For many European fans, this was the moment that completely changed their opinion of America. They realized they had spent weeks experiencing something that no headline, no online debate, and no social media post could ever truly explain. They had discovered welcoming people, world-class stadiums, unforgettable fan festivals, and an atmosphere that grew stronger with every passing match. More importantly, they had created friendships that crossed borders. An English supporter promised to visit friends he had met from Mexico. A German family exchanged contact details with American football fans. Spanish and Brazilian supporters celebrated victories together, while Dutch and French fans shared meals after dramatic matches. These weren't just random encounters. They were memories that would last long after the final whistle. As the final approached, emotions filled every corner of the tournament. Some fans were celebrating, others were heartbroken, but everyone understood they had been part of something extraordinary. Cameras captured emotional embraces, supporters singing one final time, children collecting flags from different countries, and families taking their last photos outside the stadium before heading home. Looking back, thousands of European visitors admitted that their biggest surprise wasn't who won the World Cup. It was how completely America had exceeded their expectations. They came expecting a football tournament, but they discovered an unforgettable journey, one that challenged old stereotypes, created lifelong memories, and reminded the world that football has an incredible power to unite people from every culture, every language, and every corner of the globe. And perhaps, that became the greatest victory of the 2026 World Cup, not just the champion who lifted the trophy, but the millions of hearts that left America with a brand new perspective they never expected to have. As the final whistle of the tournament echoed across the stadium, the celebration slowly began to fade, but for the thousands of European supporters preparing to fly home, the journey was far from over. Sitting inside airports, waiting at departure gates, and looking through the thousands of photos they had taken over the past few weeks, many realized they had arrived in America with expectations, but were leaving with unforgettable memories. They remembered the excitement of stepping into a World Cup stadium for the first time, the kindness of strangers who helped them find their way, the laughter shared with fans from countries they had never visited before, and the incredible atmosphere that turned every match into a worldwide celebration. Looking back, many admitted that the biggest surprise wasn't the football itself. It was discovering a side of America they had never expected to see. A country that welcomed millions of football fans, embraced different cultures, and proved that the beautiful game truly belongs to everyone. In the end, the 2026 FIFA World Cup became much more than a tournament. It became a reminder that football has the power to break stereotypes, create lifelong friendships, and unite people from every corner of the world. Sometimes, the greatest victories aren't measured by trophies. They're measured by the memories we create, the people we meet, and the perspectives that change forever. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because we bring you the world's biggest football stories, unforgettable fan reactions, and incredible moments from around the globe. And now we want to hear from you. If you had the chance to watch a FIFA World Cup match in any country, where would you go, and why? Share your answer in the comments below. We read every single comment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.